Next.
Welcome to Club Level Sports. Today we are going to be talking about CJ Stroud. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to our Club Level Sports. Today we're going to talk about CJ Stroud will be a top 5 quarterback in the next 3 years in the NFL. He's extremely dominant. He got a CLS Draft Grade that shocked us at 96 out of 100. This is his official CLS Draft Grade after going through all of his film, every game, his interviews, everything that we've gone over. He is now known to us as the professor. That's what we're calling him. And he is going to dominate. But point blank and simple, whichever team gets him is going to be extremely happy. He is the number 1 quarterback coming out of this draft, and it isn't even close. I know there are people that love Bryce Young, and I get it. I like Bryce Young as well. But Bryce Young is no CJ Stroud, and it's just not close. I hate to break it to people, and I hope people remember that they said that CJ Stroud's not going to be good. I hope they remember that. I really do, because within 3 years' time, whoever drafts him, which I think it's going to be the Panthers, they're going to look like the geniuses. They're going to look like the victors of this. And boy, oh boy, this man, I can't wait to jump into his scouting report here, his CLS Draft Grade, because the guy's a dog, man. He's the professor. First, let's talk about his QB comparison. We actually have him with another Ohio State guy, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, amazing. Joe Burrow's college career, it was rocky at times. His last year is when he really showed out. Joe Burrow really wasn't successful until his last year of college football. That's where it really clicked for him. So Stroud has the mobility of Joe Burrow and the mindset of Burrow. However, the other QB comparison that we have is going to shock some people, but it's just CJ Stroud. He is himself, okay? And he's like no one else with his ball placement and accuracy. As much as we tried to find a quarterback as accurate as Stroud, we cannot. His accuracy and ball placement is in a league of its own. Patrick Mahomes is known for his arm, but Patrick Mahomes is known for the cannon part, not that he has this absolutely pinpoint accurate throw, okay? Patrick Mahomes is great. Right now, there's no better quarterback than him who is in the NFL. There's none. But still, CJ Stroud is by himself in the accuracy category, in the ball placement. It's phenomenal. So when should CJ Stroud get drafted? First overall. That's not even close. First overall, I can't believe the 49ers didn't trade up for him. And I know they traded for Christian McCaffrey. They don't have I don't know why some of these teams didn't jump up, because they're going to be looking back in time and saying, I wish like hell that I traded for that man. Oh, I kept on to all my picks. I held on to them, and, I wasn't sure. Okay, well, you messed up. You definitely messed up, and the Panthers more than likely are going to be the team sitting there just giggling like little schoolgirls at the end. He's the first overall guy, and I know there's guys like to compare. Oh, well, Bryce Young might be. Nah, stop. Don't try that. Stop it, because CJ Stroud is just purely dominant as the number 1 quarterback. All right, so his projected start time, immediately. Now, there might be some hiccups through the road in his first few seasons. Of course, it's how it is with a lot of rookie quarterbacks. You got, even Peyton Manning had an abysmal rookie season. He was leading in interceptions, and, it was really tough for him. But they figured it out, and they put guys around him. If the Panthers really want to make Stroud a monster and they put enough guys around him, CJ Stroud could end up having the same success as Joe Burrow or even greater. CJ Stroud's leadership and confidence grade was perfect. It's as good as it can get, 12 out of 12. CJ Stroud is a natural-born leader that can lead a group of NFL players by just being himself. He carries himself with elite-level vigor. Stroud doesn't fake his confidence or leadership for the cameras. That is just how he is. He takes care of his teammates on and off the field. His goal is to succeed personally, but also as a team. His confidence towards the Georgia game was extremely high, even with the media doubting him and his teammates. Even Buckeye fans doubted his ability, and that didn't stop him from putting on a show. Stroud shows off his confidence in any interview he partakes in and leaves people amazed by his confidence and how he carries himself. Stroud takes pride in being a leader and takes pride in making sure he is there for his teammates. He even brought his tailor in to get his offensive linemen dressed to the nines because he wanted them to look good and feel good. He knows how his offensive line and others around him operate. He knows how they think and how to respond to them in order to get the best out of them. He tells stories about them and how they think. It's masterful. Stroud takes his time to truly learn his teammates, how his teammates are, and is never too big for anyone. That's so impressive. When Stroud had a bunch of backups in on offense for the Georgia game, his backups didn't feel like they couldn't beat Georgia when Stroud was at the helm. They showed throughout the game by being up double digits for majority of the game that they could play with anybody, and that Stroud is the guy to beat. Stroud is a rare young man that we could all learn from. He is cut from the same cloth as Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Stroud does a lot for his family and wants his mother to have great things in life because he believes she deserves it. With his mindset and God-gifted abilities, he will make sure that dream stays a reality. On the decision-making, Stroud scored a perfect 12 out of 12. Now, Stroud is as close to perfect in his decision-making as a college quarterback could get. It is rare for us to give out this perfect rating in this category, but if there's a quarterback to give it to, it is definitely Stroud. Stroud has elite NFL processing and reads defenses like he wrote a book on them. His ability to find the open guy is what sets him apart from the rest. No coverage is too complex for Stroud in the long run. Stroud will eventually figure out a defense and surely light them up if he has the right weapons around him. Defenses better apply great pressure to the young man because Stroud is destined for greatness and pressure is nothing new to him. He is poised and will handle pressure with great confidence. On big game performance, Stroud got 11 out of 12, so almost perfect. Stroud is amazing in big games, and even on the big games where he lost, he himself did not lose. Ohio State had growing to do on defense, and he rarely ever turned over the ball. The Georgia game speaks for itself. Georgia stopped everyone, but they could not stop Stroud no matter what they did. He roasted them for 348 yards, 4 TDs with no interceptions. Against Iowa, who has one of the best defenses in college football, he nuked them for 4 TDs, 286 yards, and only 1 interception and broke records. Ohio State broke records that day on scoring as much as they did on Iowa. People will say that he threw 2 interceptions against Michigan and that is a bad game for him. Yes, he could have played better, but if you watch the film, he actually played exceptionally well. 1 interception came from his tight end, let the ball bounce off his hands and into the defenders. The other interception was him trying to make a great play and tossing it to his running back underhand, and he was hit in the process, which caused the ball to sail slightly too high and into the defender's hands. No interception in that game came from Stroud misreading the defense, making a bad throw with his feet set, or poor decision-making. Stroud is the professor. Longevity, Stroud gets a 10 out of 11. CJ Stroud plays smart and doesn't take stupid hits too often. Occasionally you'll see that, but very rarely. He is a pocket passer first and using his legs as a last resort. Stroud is tougher than people give him credit for, and he has the intelligence to make his body last for a long time in the league. Total arm value, he's got 11 out of 11. He is perfect in this category. CJ Stroud has the best total arm value that we have seen, and this is not easy to say. His ball placement, accuracy, and arm strength are second to none when you combine them all. His arm talent is almost mechanical. He has a robotic throwing motion with robotic accuracy. He can place it anywhere on the field and does a masterful job at throwing receivers open, which is very important at the NFL level. Stroud hits his receivers with brilliant ball placement and gives the receivers a great ability to keep running in stride. He doesn't just throw to an open guy, he guides them like a general. He's like a battleship. CJ Stroud has a perfect pocket control grade of 11 out of 11. He not only controls the pocket as well as the best, but he manipulates it to work for him. He makes blocking for him easy with how he controls the pocket. Outstanding pocket control in every sense of the word. He steps up in the pocket at the right time, has perfect timing with throwing the ball before he gets hit, and isn't afraid of pressure whatsoever. Stroud is a hard quarterback to sack, and he has the release to get the pass out before a defender has a chance to disrupt it. And he knows when and where to go in the pocket to create distance. For Stroud's consistency grade, he got 11 out of 11. Stroud had more of a consistent career than even Joe Burrow, which is saying something. He is the most consistent college quarterback in football, And he did that this year also without his great receiver, Jackson Smith-Njigba, for most of the season. You'll hear a lot about people talking, well, they have the best receiving core and it makes it easy for him. He had Marvin Harrison Jr. this year. Obviously, he had Ibuka as well. He had Kate Stover, but he was missing Jackson Smith-Njigba. Last year, he had Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, and Jackson Smith-Njigba. This year against Georgia, he didn't even have Jackson Smith-Njigba, and he didn't have Marvin Harrison Jr. in the entire fourth quarter. Just imagine what those numbers would have been. And Georgia probably wouldn't even have came close to winning if Marvin Harrison and Jackson Smith-Njigba were both on the field, and Cade Stover was on the field because Cade Stover got injured in the first quarter. Just imagine his numbers against Georgia and what they could have been. They could have blown them out. Now, Joe Burrow did have an untouchable season in 2019, but even with that season, he still wasn't as consistent career-wise in college as Stroud was, which we aren't saying Stroud is automatically going to be better than Joe Burrow because of that. We are making a point. Stroud is consistent mentally, physically, and consistent in his gameplay. What you see is what you get. Stroud will amaze people and shock them in his NFL career. Now, in his reaction time, he got a perfect score at 11 out of 11. Stroud's reaction time is as fast as Clint Eastwood in one of his old Western movies. It is like his arm is a drone and his mind is the command center. He already knows the target, he's just waiting for the green light. He catches defenses off guard with his reaction time. Predicting where he will go with the ball is like predicting when a snake will strike and where it will bite. What Stroud has in reaction time cannot be coached. You either have it or you do not. He processes so fast, and watching his film was a true treat. Stroud's scrambling ability got him a 7 out of 9. Stroud has much more mobility than people like to give him credit for. If Georgia has the best defense, then Stroud showed that the best defense couldn't sack him to save their lives, even when they had him surrounded. He could scramble for a first. He can also use his legs to wait for a receiver to break out and hit him on a dot for 60 yards. Stroud isn't the fastest guy on the field, but he is fast enough to do some serious damage to a defense. Stroud has quick steps, but he also will live to fight another day, which some indicate as weakness, where Stroud sees it as strategy. Second guess his mobility, and you will likely be shocked, just like Georgia's defense was. Now, where can CJ Stroud improve? Obviously, Stroud isn't perfect. He can keep improving his confidence to new heights, which is scary, and do a better job at running for first downs when the running lane presents itself. Other than that, it is now up to the team who drafts him to surround him with the right play callers and players. Good luck, CJ Stroud, and it was a pleasure to go over your film.